Hi, keyboard fans. I'm the PC Expert Amateur, and we're going to take a look at the Womier, because it looks like a French word, X75, a 75% gasket-mounted wireless keyboard. And here's the lovely box. Very, very simple. It is, the Chinese name for Womier is Shaodong Tongchi Technology Development Company Limited, or something like that. I probably got the pronunciation wrong because the way they write it in in Latin letters is based on a language other than English, which is why it doesn't sound like it looks. So I probably got the whole thing wrong, at least the first two words, Shaodong Tongchi. I think Tongchi would be Dong and Chi would be G, or I'm not really sure though. Shaodong, I don't know. So anyways, this is it. Now this is rather interesting, and I have a theory about this. My theory is that they got and I'm probably wrong, but if you look, you can see that there's this very shiny, apparently clear exterior. It's barely visible from the top, but it's also there. And you can see the points where there are clips that connect. The bottom also demonstrates, it's not actually clear, it's translucent pink. And it's got nice double legs. It's also got 1, 2, 3, 4 really good rubber feet. They're very good at gripping the surface that they're put on. This is very heavy. I think this is one of the heaviest keyboards that I've reviewed. Now, the dongle for radio frequency 2.4 gigahertz is right there. And you can switch between RF, Bluetooth, and wired using the USB-C to USB-A port and cable. And this is the cable. It's pretty long. And you can also switch between Windows and Mac right there. And you'll notice something about the keys. Well, aside from the fact that we're missing a numeric keypad and certain other keys, none of the keys show any special functions, but they should. And I'm going to show you the reason why. So the reason why is this is a lit keyboard. Not lit like drugs, but lit like RGB. And you can switch between them. Let me turn off the other light. Using function, backward slash bar. There are different ones. You can also use function up down for brightness and function left right for speed. And there are some other ones. And there are a whole bunch of other key presses for things like pause and play and all that kind of stuff, but none of it is marked. Now, one of the things that I find visually appealing about this keyboard is the fact that they have taken a colored base and then put clear plastic over that, or maybe they did the clear plastic first, molded that, and then they filled it and molded it with the colored stuff. So, and we can actually, I don't remember if I can, oh, that's not what I wanted. It's something, there we go. So if we just use white, which is function tab, or caps lock, was it? Caps lock. We can see that we have various shades of pink here, almost orangish, and except for the U that goes around here. Why they included this one? In this one, I assume it's symmetry, even though these two keys are technically not special keys. They're regular character keys. And really, the space bar is a regular character key, so it should not be gray either. But they wanted this symmetry, even though it's not symmetrical. And they do have home and end, page up, page down. I wish it was home, page up, page down, and end. That would make more sense. The arrow keys are nicely placed. We also have very big lettering for the alphabet, smaller lettering for everything else except for the arrow keys. And I think they could have used bigger lettering for pretty much everything. But the reason I like these keys, these, I guess they call them jelly keys, is because it's sneaky. Because the lighting slightly comes through the colored part, but most of it is being refracted through the clear part. So that's really very interesting to me. It's a clever way of dealing with the problem rather than using a laser to etch the characters in and then shine the light through the etched part or something else. They've come up with a very elegant solution, I think. And as far as using this, the noise is, I'm going to have to unplug this, but the noise is a little bit clicky-clacky. With the, as usual, the space bar is the longest, so it's the noisiest. But it's actually pretty comfortable. I mean, there's a little bit of a shortened depth that feels a little bit, tiny bit jarring to me. But really, I did enjoy using this keyboard. And I think that the fact that you have to memorize instructions from the manual, and there are only 2 pages, and there are only like one of those, less than one of that is actually the key presses that you have to memorize for the RGB, for the lighting, for the special functions across the keyboard and stuff. I think if they had bothered to actually put that on the keycaps, that would have been genius, but they didn't. And so many companies are just being so lazy about this. It just frustrates me because they make keyboards, well, this one's way too heavy, but they make keyboards that are just very comfortable. I mean, this company, Cinda, and what's the other one? Well, anyways, the not Cinda. What is this one? EUSO and a few others have made some very, very nice keyboards, but most of them are taking the easy route out and forcing us to have to memorize key presses when we should be able to learn it by looking at the keyboard, especially for those of you who are not touch typists. You have to look and see. You can't see anything. And I'm a touch typist, but since it's not listed, I can't memorize with my brain where it is, except for by using the stupid manual. So I won't use this keyboard because of that. It's aggravating. Okay? It's aggravating. So, really nice keyboard, but I don't like the missing information on the keyboard. It's not fair to anybody. And I think they should have been more consistent about the size of the font. It should not have been so small on most of these keys. Now, you could argue, well, there's not enough space. Yes, there is. Maybe a little bit more crowded, but how many of us have to wear glasses? Millions and millions, maybe billions of people wear glasses and contacts. And yet, we are often forgotten. Okay, so it's very interesting looking, but the theory I was going to tell you was, I think perhaps they bought this white part that's inside here, at least I think it's white, which contains all the electronics, and either it came with the switches and keycaps, or they bought the switches and keycaps separately and then put it together. But I'm not really sure. It is interesting. I almost forgot to tell you that in addition to the cable and to the tiny multilingual manual, there is a keycap and key switch puller, so you can swap everything out if you wish. So thanks for watching and have a great day.
I need to ask for your help. Things have been challenging. Whose life hasn't been challenging lately? So if you can please help me out by liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, and turning on notifications, that would be really, really super. Also, if you'd like to help me financially and you can't afford to, you can do a super thanks on my Glenn's Fast Reviews channel, or you can become a member there. Or if you prefer, you can go to patreon.com/GLENNMII and become a member there instead. Also, I'd like to give a shout out to Bleeping Computer for their support of my channel. If you need resources for computers, for getting rid of malware and learning about cybersecurity and stuff, Bleeping Computer, BLEEPING computer.com is a great resource. Thanks so much for watching and have a great day.